Forget everything you thought you knew about animal intelligence. Prepare to be amazed as we unveil the shocking truth about the incredible cognitive abilities of animals across the globe, from clever crows to problem-solving dolphins. Welcome to The Bizarre, the channel that dives deep into the strangest corners of science, nature, and history. If it's weird, wild, or wonderfully unexplained, you'll find it here. Let's explore the minds of animals like you've never seen them before. 1. The bird brain myth. Crows outsmarting humans. We've all heard the insult, bird-brained. But when it comes to crows, that phrase couldn't be more wrong. Crows, especially the New Caledonian crow, possess problem-solving abilities that rival those of primates, and even young children. In a now-famous experiment inspired by Aesop's fable, scientists gave crows a tube of water with a floating treat out of reach. What did the crow do? It dropped pebbles into the tube, raising the water level until the treat floated within reach. No training, just pure intuitive problem-solving. But it gets even weirder. In Japan, crows have been observed using cars to crack nuts. They wait for a red light, place the nuts in front of stopped traffic, then swoop in to retrieve them once the light turns red again. That's not just smart. That's city-savvy intelligence and an understanding of human behavior. And when it comes to tools, these birds are practically engineers. Crows can bend sticks into hooks to retrieve food, use leaves as scoops, and even create multi-step tools, solving puzzles that require them to plan several moves ahead. One crow named Betty became a scientific celebrity after she spontaneously bent a piece of wire into a hook without ever having seen it done before, demonstrating innovation, not imitation. Crows also remember human faces. In one study, researchers wore masks while capturing and tagging crows. Years later, those same crows, and even others who weren't originally involved, aggressively mobbed anyone wearing the same mask. The birds had not only remembered the dangerous human, they had passed on that information to their flock. Crows don't just survive in human environments. They adapt, they observe, and they learn. So the next time you see a crow staring at you from a rooftop, it might be studying you. 2. Elephants never forget. And that's no joke. Elephants have long been celebrated for their memory, but their minds are far more complex than most people realize. Here's a bizarre truth. Elephants can recognize themselves in mirrors. That might sound simple, but it's actually one of the rarest signs of self-awareness in the animal kingdom. Most animals think their reflection is another creature. But elephants? They get it. They know it's them. That puts them in the same exclusive club as dolphins, great apes, and humans. Even more stunning, they show emotional intelligence. When an elephant dies, others will return to the site, touch the bones, and stand silently. It's not instinct, it's grief, it's mourning. Some have even tried to bury their dead with branches and leaves. In the wild, matriarch elephants lead herds for decades, remembering every waterhole, migration path, and danger, even after 30 years. That memory isn't just impressive, it's survival. And get this. Elephants can communicate over long distances using deep, rumbling infrasound that we can't even hear. It's like their own secret language, traveling miles beneath the ground. If an elephant can mourn the dead, recognize itself in a mirror, and communicate through vibrations in the earth, do you think they might understand more about us than we understand about them? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this might just change how you see intelligence. 3. Octopus, the alien among us. If there's one creature on this planet that feels like it shouldn't belong here, it's the octopus. With 3 hearts, blue blood, and a brain structure unlike anything else on Earth, they're more than intelligent, they're alien. Octopuses don't just solve puzzles, they outthink them. At multiple aquariums around the world, octopuses have been caught sneaking out of their tanks, crawling across the floor, opening another tank to steal food, and then returning like nothing happened. One famous escapee named Inky slipped through a tiny gap, crossed the floor, and escaped through a drain pipe back to the ocean. No help, no training, just ambition. Their brains are split, literally. 2/3 of an octopus's neurons aren't in its head, but in its arms. Each arm can act independently, taste what it touches, and solve problems on its own, almost like it has 8 mini-brains working in sync. Bizarre fact: when bored, octopuses have been known to unscrew tank lights, rearrange items for entertainment, and even squirt water at aquarium staff they don't like. That's not just problem solving, that's personality. And when it comes to camouflage, they're the ultimate masters. Octopuses can change both color and texture in a split second, vanishing into their environment so perfectly it looks like magic. But here's the kicker: they do this despite being colorblind. If a creature with no bones, multiple hearts, distributed intelligence, and the ability to escape tanks and hold grudges isn't smart, what is? Do you think octopuses might be the closest thing we have to aliens on Earth? Let us know in the comments, because the deeper we dive into their minds, the stranger things get. 4. Dogs, smarter than you think, and maybe manipulating you. You might think you know how smart dogs are, but the truth is far weirder than most people realize. Dogs don't just obey commands, they read us like books. Studies show dogs can interpret human facial expressions, gestures, and even tone of voice with shocking accuracy. In fact, dogs are better at understanding human pointing gestures than even chimpanzees. Bizarre fact: some dogs have vocabularies of over 1,000 words. One border collie named Chaser could recognize and retrieve over 200 different toys by name. That's not just memory, that's linguistic comprehension most toddlers haven't mastered. And it gets weirder. Dogs have learned how to manipulate us. In one experiment, dogs led humans to different boxes. Some contained food, some didn't. If the human had food themselves, the dog would lead them to the empty box instead, so it could eat the human's snack instead. That's not loyalty, it's strategy. Ever wonder why your dog gives you those big, sad eyes? It's not accidental. Domesticated dogs evolved specific facial muscles just to create that wide-eyed puppy dog look, because it triggers a nurturing response in humans. Yes, your dog evolved to hack your emotions, and dogs have emotional intelligence too. They can sense when you're upset or sick. Some have even been trained to detect cancer, predict seizures, or alert their humans before a panic attack. 5. Dolphins, ocean geniuses with a dark side. They smile, they play, they save drowning humans. But don't be fooled by the friendly face. Dolphins aren't just smart. They might be the most bizarrely intelligent creatures in the ocean. Let's start with language. Dolphins use over 1,000 unique whistle combinations to talk to each other. And each dolphin has a unique signature whistle, like a personal name. Even stranger? They respond when you call them by that name, just like humans. But it gets even more mind-blowing. Dolphins have been observed using tools, like covering their snouts with marine sponges to protect themselves while hunting along the seafloor. That's tool use, passed down from mother to calf, like cultural knowledge. They also understand abstract concepts like numeracy, mimicry, and even syntax in communication. In experiments, dolphins were taught hand sign commands to perform complex tasks, like jumping through hoops or fetching specific objects. But here's the kicker. If the command came out of order, they could still figure it out. They weren't just trained, they were interpreting. Bizarre. Fact: dolphins pass the mirror test, a marker of self-awareness, and even spend time examining their own bodies in reflections. In one study, dolphins looked at a mark placed on their body only when a mirror was present, proving they knew the image was them. And then there's their moral intelligence. There are well-documented cases of dolphins saving humans from drowning, chasing off sharks, and helping other injured dolphins. Are they showing empathy? Altruism? Some researchers think so. But here's the dark twist. Dolphins are also known for manipulation, deception, and violence. They've been observed using bait balls to trick fish, kidnapping calves from rival pods, and even forming alliances in complex social warfare, rivaling early human tribes. If dolphins can name each other, use tools, lie, and form political alliances, are we looking at just another animal? Or the ocean's version of humanity? Tell us in the comments, do dolphins make you feel more amazed or slightly uncomfortable? 6. Ants, the superorganism mind. Individually, ants aren't impressive. But as a colony, they function like a single, super-intelligent being. They farm, build cities, go to war, and even quarantine sick members. Some species use sophisticated algorithms to find the shortest paths, rivaling our best computer networks. Tiny brains, massive collective power. 6. Pigs, the genius hiding on the farm. Think pigs are dirty, lazy farm animals? Think again. These animals are not only clean and social, they might be some of the most underrated geniuses in the animal kingdom. Pigs can solve puzzles, play video games, and even recognize themselves in mirrors, an extremely rare sign of self-awareness. Bizarre fact. In one experiment, pigs used a joystick-controlled computer to move a cursor and hit targets on a screen, essentially playing a game designed for primates. And they figured it out faster than expected. Scientists were shocked, not just by their memory and logic, but by how fast they adapted to totally new tasks. Pigs have incredible long-term memory. They can recall object locations, routines, and mazes weeks later. And they are excellent at social learning, meaning they can watch another pig solve a problem and then replicate the solution without trial and error. They also have rich emotional lives. Pigs can distinguish between positive and negative emotions in other pigs. Some have even been seen comforting distressed companions, suggesting empathy. But here's where it gets really bizarre. Pigs can be deceptive. In group feeding situations, if a pig finds a hidden food stash, it might lead the others in the wrong direction, only to sneak back and claim the prize once they're distracted. That's strategy. That's manipulation. That's intelligence. 8. Parrots, the talking thinkers. Meet Alex, the African gray parrot who stunned scientists. He could identify colors, shapes, and quantities, and even understand abstract concepts like same and different. When he died, his final words to his trainer were, "You be good. I love you." Coincidence or something far more profound? 9. Rats, smarter than you think. Rats can learn complex tasks, navigate mazes, and even show empathy. In one study, a rat freed a trapped companion even when offered chocolate as a distraction. They're being trained to detect landmines and diagnose tuberculosis, all with a brain the size of a grape. 10. Bonus. The intelligence we're still discovering. We've only scratched the surface. Whales have dialects. Mantis shrimp have hyperspectral vision. Jumping spiders can plan complex routes. Animal intelligence isn't just about solving puzzles. It's about emotion, culture, awareness, even morality. And the more we study them, the more we realize we're not the only minds on this planet. So the next time you look into an animal's eyes, remember, you may be looking at a mind as rich and complex as your own. The bizarre truth? Intelligence isn't just a human trait. It's a living spectrum. And we're only beginning to understand where we stand.